predictions are you making about Seedfolks? What do you like? What do you dislike? What do you think will happen next? Make some predictions. What are some inferences you've found? So on the app, once you saw the screen that said join and then you put in the Grace Bertram 594, then there's a response box. You type in 108866 and then you put a space and type out your response. So, and then it'll, hit submit and it'll pop up on the screen. This is a way that you can ask questions or say things and it's not as, nerve-wracking. So, for example, who's Virgil? I really like this book because, it's really entertaining. I think Leona's really cool. Thoughts? Any thoughts that you have whatsoever. Questions. And then you can respond to people's questions. Don't be nervous. It won't say who's typing up what. But once you hit submit, it'll show up on the screen. And if your iPad wasn't working, on a piece of paper, write down some of the thoughts that you had. So if you could submit them to the website, what would you submit? Questions, thoughts. If you're confused about a character or something about a character, put it up on the screen. See if somebody else knows the answer. Someone hit submit. We want to see the questions going. Make sure you put the 10 or the 108866 first, and then a space, and then your response. Because then it sends it to the actual screen. I'm anxious to see what you're thinking. Here we go. This is a good book. I like all the racial slurs and how it makes it seem that a real person is talking. They're talking about voice. What else? And you can say more things. If you have other thoughts, feel free to say as many things as you want. You can reply to what people are saying. Oh good, we have other ones. It's a good book. I've enjoyed reading this book so far. It has lots of descriptive words and figurative language. I like that. We talked about that yesterday. I predict that the garden will grow into a good place and people will interact with each other as well as grow plants. Great predictions. What else? Does someone have a response to something that's up there? Someone said, I think the book is kind of boring because it's not really my type of book. That's okay. This is your opinion. We talked about how Leona is funny. We talked about the irony that we talked about yesterday with the goldenrod. Someone touched on this in the other class, and how we didn't know if Virgil was a boy or a girl. We'll learn that today. Who was the taxi guy? Does anybody remember? Someone said, this is an interesting book. I feel bad for the taxi guy. Sydney.
Mine is a Lincoln.
Oh.
It's not so good.
I would copy you this, like the thing, so that you don't have to lose it. Like copy it, and then hit the back button. Like go back and then re-sign it and try that. I like that Sam is a tree hugger, and it helps the garden because of how divided it is with all the fences. That's true. We learned he's very, he's kind of a peacemaker. He kind of is like a hippie. One of the classes mentioned that yesterday. Try copying this. Charlie, we're just copying the whole thing, and then
Just quit joking around.
remember, we want to use things that are related to the book. And if it's not working, write something down on a piece of paper. Some of the thoughts that you had. Carl, I know they could probably read that. I predict that everyone's going to destroy their enemies' gardens. We talked about how yesterday there's not a sense of community. That's a great prediction. It kind of seems that that's how the people are going. We talked about point of view one day. I like how each chapter of the book is from a different point of view. We're talking about interacting with each other. Let's get a few more going. I think the book is great so far and interesting in how all the characters are helping make the garden better. What if the garden doesn't get the people together? Think about that. We talked about community and diversity, but what if it doesn't work? Well, your response worked, by the way. My response won't submit. Some people might not appreciate the garden. We learned that. Oh, it says poll is full. So what about some of you who weren't able to submit some of your questions? Are you willing to share some of the questions you have or thoughts that you've had? Kira.
I like how each person has a different contribution to the garden.
Yeah, Kira said how she likes how each person has a different contribution to the garden. We're learning that even though they all are doing different things, they're starting to interact with each other more. And that's what I wanted you to do with this activity, was to be able to voice your opinions and your thoughts. It's sometimes nerve-wracking to state what you're feeling about a book, but this allows you to share them without other people knowing what you're saying.